Fife Flyers TV, sponsored by the Bay Hotel, Fife's premier wedding venue.
Brandon, thanks for joining us today on another one of our Getting to Know You series of videos. I just want to start off by asking, you've obviously not long joined the club, of course, just before Christmas there. What challenges is there for you joining a club, that's already midway through its season?
I think probably the biggest challenge is getting to know a whole new group of guys. Obviously stepping in, and then once you get to know them, I think learning how just kind of the day-to-day operations with the team goes, how kind of practices are. A lot of teams like to run their same practices a lot, so you got to familiarize yourself with the drills, and then once that kind of happens, I think the transition into the lineup and stuff like that was not too bad. Obviously, knowing a couple guys here before I came in was huge, knowing James Isaacs and Greg Chase and Michael McNicholas. So those three guys obviously helped me out a lot, and I knew Stads as well from playing against them for so long. So there's a lot of boys in the room that I've kind of crossed paths with or have actually played with in the past.
And of course, it's your first time in this league as well. So how's it been going so far for you?
I think obviously the first game went really well, and then I kind of went on a couple games there where I was having some difficulties finding the puck and finding the back of the net and stuff like that. But I think that kind of comes with every league and every hockey player. There's going to be waves and flows in the hockey game, and not just in games, but throughout games and throughout the season. So trying to keep yourself on a pretty even keel night in and night out, no matter if you have points or not. Your job's kind of just help the team out and hopefully help us get some wins.
As you mentioned Greg Chase there, of course I spoke to you before about your relationship with him. Do you want to maybe just chat through how you know him?
Yeah, me and Greg, we go pretty far back. I think we first met each other in about grade 4, and then we were at a hockey program together in Edmonton, and we were in the same class, same grade pretty well, right up until grade 12. We were in the same graduating class, and the only time I think we're kind of away was when we went to go play juniors, and then when we come back, we're kind of right back into the classroom thing with him, and knowing Chaser's awesome. He's a competitive kid and brings that spirit to the game every day in and day out. So I think just growing up with him and the compete level he has definitely helped me out, myself and becoming a professional.
Was he a bit of an influence for you to come here?
100%. I was over in Czech and things weren't going the best for me over there, and I was just kind of looking for somewhere I could get some ice time and get to play, and that's, when you're a kid, that's all you really want to do is play hockey and actually playing the games. And, I was talking to Greg a little bit, and the team was having a couple struggles here and there, so they were looking to bring some guys in, and, just kind of around Christmas time there, I decided to pull the trigger and come on over here to Fife and, just kind of never look back.
We're very happy to have you. You played, I was just having a look at your career so far, and you played a little bit over in China as well, in the KHL. What was that like for you?
I think that would be an experience that is one of the best ones I've ever had. Getting to live on that part of the world and kind of just seeing a whole new thing and a whole new way of life over there. It's completely different, and you don't really think of a hockey team being over there, but once we were there's a lot of North American guys on the team, so we were kind of doing all our things together, and with a few Chinese guys definitely helped us out there. The language barrier is huge. It's not where they're only speaking Mandarin or Cantonese over there. It's not really not a lot of English going on over there, and it's the same kind of thing within Russia when we were there. Everyone's speaking Russian. They're not really looking to speak English, so those two experiences were crazy, and I think just kind of a once in a lifetime thing for myself, getting to play hockey over there. And I think it's an unbelievable league. Obviously, the KHL and the caliber of hockey there is second to the NHL, I'd say.
Playing in that league, is the schedule quite brutal in terms of where you're all travelling to and things like that?
Yes and no. For the most part, we were able to. The hardest ones were kind of flying from Beijing to Moscow, and that was like a 9-hour flight with a 6-hour time change. So you kind of put your body through the ringer on that. But then once you get over there, kind of take a day to get acclimatized, and for the most part we normally stay like over on that side for 2 to 3 weeks at a time and travel around there, and then come back to China, and then we'd spend another 2 to 3 weeks there. So the travel in that sense wasn't terrible, and we're not playing games every single night like Friday, Saturday or anything like that. It's always a day or two off between games. So there's a lot of time to work on your body and recover and that stuff. And practice was same kind of thing. We're traveling in, we kind of had the day off, and then next day come into practice. So I think the hardest part was definitely the 9-hour flight. And once you got that out of the way, though, you're kind of just settled right back in.
And one thing that people might not realise, or probably don't realise about you as well, is that you are type 1 diabetic. Do you want to just talk a bit through that, the people that don't know much about it?
Yeah, so for everyone that don't know, pretty much my pancreas doesn't work to produce insulin. And I've been on multiple daily injections now since I was 4. I got diagnosed on January 16th of 99. So, it's something that was definitely a little scary at the time when you're that age. And I honestly think it would probably be scarier for my mom and dad, because they were the ones that would have had to go through all of that and kind of learn how to live with a diabetic child. So for them, they were definitely, watching me pretty close and making sure I wasn't going into a low zone or anything like that. And my parents did an unbelievable job. I mean, I know I don't think I did my first sleepover until I was about 12, just because I didn't know how to do my own needles. So I stayed over at one of my buddy's houses, and his mom was a nurse, so she was able to do my insulin for me. But I think that's one of those things, though. If you're a young kid or something like that who gets diagnosed, it's not something to be scared of at the time. I think you can look at a lot of people that are very active and very successful with being a type 1 diabetic, and you kind of just learn how to manage it and manage your body. And I think everyone's different, but I think I got a pretty good grasp on how my body's feeling day in and day out with where my blood sugar's at. And there's a lot of technological advances that are making it a lot easier now too. I mean, I'm using like a little patch on my arm to check my blood sugar now, where it used to be a finger poke. They do make a pump now that's very good. That'll pretty much be regulating your blood sugar at all times, and all you have to do is kind of dial in how much insulin you have to give yourself. So, technology's come a long way since first time I was diagnosed, and who knows, one day I know they're working on trying to create a cure for it. So we'll have to see what happens here in the future.
And how does that affect you? With you having type 1 diabetes, and then how does that affect your hockey career?
I come into every place letting the trainers know right away that I'm a diabetic. I definitely don't broadcast it a whole ton. But the people that need to know kind of know. And here with Mike and everyone that's our trainers, they've always got juice boxes on the bench for me, or Gatorade, or Lucozade. It's over here. And they've been really good with that stuff. And my thing is just making sure my blood sugar kind of never dips. And I normally can feel it if it's on the bench, but in between every period, I'll be checking my blood sugar or giving myself insulin depending on where I'm at.
And does it affect different supplements or things that you're able to take?
No. I mean, for me, I would say the body's just like anyone else's, other than the whole pancreas not working thing. I can take proteins, I can take vitamins, anything like that. And for me, I guess the only thing I'm really looking for is making sure there's not a lot of carbohydrates in the protein you're taking, because that stuff will spike your blood sugar. So I guess, I definitely can't just pick up a chocolate bar and Skittles whenever I want. It's kind of if you're going low, then I get to enjoy a little treat. But it's that's probably the one thing that kind of sucks the most, is you don't get all the candy you want. So.
And do you think, just kind of generally out with hockey as well, is there more general awareness from people than there has been before?
I think so. There's a lot of players now that are type 1 diabetic. Ty Domi or Max Domi in the NHL has type 1 diabetes, and I know he's got like a dog that bumps him every time he goes low. So there's some crazy stuff going on, and I think I think the knowledge around it is definitely not high. A lot of guys will kind of ask like, "Oh, what is that?" and "What are you doing?" and kind of at the first, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm a diabetic," and they go, "Okay, that makes sense." And it's different in every room, and every guy kind of has a different background, so they might know what diabetes is, and some definitely don't.
No, thank you for being so open about that. I just want to kind of come back to hockey for a second for final question. We're building a wee bit of momentum here. at Fife. Are the guys very confident that we can make it into the playoffs at the end of the season?
I think so. I think our group of guys they've been working hard day in and day out since I got here. And right when I got here, we had a guy, Matt Carter's a everyday guy in the lineup that we're missing our captain, and then bringing in guys like Larry who definitely bring a presence to our team, and I think that that helps us out a lot. We didn't have any big guys that were very intimidating or anything to play against. We had a bunch of pretty small, speedy guys. So bringing him in, I think it kind of gave us a little more freedom to just play hockey, and creates a little space on the ice for everybody. And that's bringing in guys and having guys like that is essential to every hockey team. You need those guys, and he buried one last game too. So obviously he can put the puck in the net, and he's a great addition for us.
Cool. Thanks very much, Brandon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Good luck for the rest.
The Bay Hotel, where your dream wedding becomes reality. Visit us at thebayhotel.net.